So welcome again, and thank you so much for your interest in becoming a volunteer for John Muir Land Trust. Volunteers provide tremendous benefit to John Muir Land Trust by helping to fulfill our mission, and we are grateful for your support, and we cannot do this work without you. Today, we will introduce you to JMLT, how we work, our properties, and our programs, so that if you choose to become a volunteer, which we hope you do, you will be prepared to tell others about what we do. We will also talk about volunteer roles, and we want to answer all your questions about how to get involved today. Also, there will be lots of opportunities for questions sprinkled throughout the presentation. And a note about how this volunteer orientation is different than the one we hosted in March, if you attended that one. This orientation, there are more volunteer opportunities that are ready for you to jump into today, and there are more roles that are accessible remotely. Okay, so we'd like to introduce ourselves officially now. My name is Hannah. I'm the Hannah Hodgson, the Community Programs Manager for John Muir Land Trust. And I'd like to like my co-presenters to introduce themselves, Brian and then Krista.
Hi, I'm Brian Hayes. I'm the Technology Director here at John Muir Land Trust. And I was once a volunteer before I started working here. And if you see me out in the trails on an event, I'm likely volunteering at that time as well.
I'm Krista Voskuhl. I'm the Director of Philanthropy. I've been at John Muir Land Trust for about 5 years now. And I just wanted to also take a moment to say hello to some people who are on the line, including volunteer and board member Eileen McCulley, who helped produce this. Thank you so much, Eileen. And we also have board members Don Block, Karen Sakata, and Stephanie Becker with us. So thank you.
Thanks, Krista. I'd also like to say Sandra Jameson, who's on the line, is our volunteer greeter today, and she will be reaching out to you after the event to see if you have any additional questions. She's been volunteering with us for many years.
I forgot to mention our Director of Stewardship as well is here, Glenn Lewis. So I'm going to take us through an overview of the organization and then on a kind of virtual property tour. So I want to start off by stating our mission, which is John Muir Land Trust protects and cares for open space, ranches, farms, parkland, and shoreline in the East Bay. And we define the East Bay as Contra, Costa, and Alameda counties. What you're looking at is our service area. And I know it's hard to read all of those property descriptions, but those in kind of that reddish brown are the properties that John Muir Land Trust owns and stewards. It makes up 3,500 acres. The lighter area, so what you're looking at is west of the I-680 corridor up to Suisun and San Pablo Bay, and then down to about Fremont. So that is our strategic priority area. So a little bit about our history. We turned 30 last year and started off as the Martinez Regional Land Trust, which was incorporated in 1989. And it was done so to protect 150 acres of Alhambra Valley open space known as Stonehurst. And since then, we've protected 17 properties, again, comprising 3,500 acres. So those lands are permanently protected and preserved for recreation, wildlife, and scenic views. So we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. John Muir Land Trust is great at partnering. So we partner with private landowners, individual contributors, foundations. We have very many nonprofit partners and also work with public agencies. It's really important. It takes a lot to make these land acquisitions possible. So we're grateful to our partners. We are accredited by the Land Trust Accreditation Commission, and we are also members of the California Council of Land Trusts. So a little bit about how we work. So there's a long-term life cycle to finding, acquiring, and taking care of all of our properties. When we say permanently protected, we do mean it. we tend to hold properties and steward them in perpetuity through our stewardship committee under the oversight of our director of stewardship and volunteers. So we do purchase land from willing sellers only. We are not an advocacy organization. And again, we take care of the land forever and ever. So this is a little bit about our source of funds as well as use of funds. You can see this is a 5-year timeline from 2010 to 2014. And we've got the next 5 years that we can start on this. Land trusts are a little complicated. As you can imagine, money might come in these very lumpy kind of ways as we are making multi-million-dollar property acquisitions. So we tend to look at 5 years. 76% comes in from corporations, agencies, foundations, and other, and then 24% is through individual donations. The way we use those funds is 87% goes to program, and that includes land acquisition, conservation activities, and environmental education and outreach. If you look down on this slide, it says $1, and so $1 of individual contributions can be leveraged to $3 from other sources. And an example of that is Almond Ranch, which we were able to acquire at the end of last year, 281 acres adjacent to the John Muir National Historic Site here in Martinez. And the public contributed $1 million, and we were able to use that as showing outstanding community support and make a case to agencies and receive $3 million in donations for that $4 million campaign. So thank you. So as promised, a little virtual tour of the properties overview. So if you want to advance the next slide, Anna, that'd be great. Here's that map again. If you do want to download this, it is available on our website at jmlt.org/mission. You can find it there and really kind of get into all of the different properties that we own and steward. But for this tour, we're going to start at our kind of where we began, which is in Martinez at the Franklin Ridge. Head over to, oh, can you go back, Hannah? Sorry. Start at the Franklin Ridge, head over to Fernandez Ranch, up to the Goldfields, Acalanes Ridge, Bodfish, then down to La Mirinda with the most recent acquisitions there. All right, so the Franklin Ridge, the hills to the west and southwest of downtown Martinez are known locally as the Franklin Ridge, named for gold rush pioneer Edward Franklin, who came to California in 1849. All of these properties are, so there are 7 of them, and were acquired by JMLT over decades, with Stonehurst easements first, as I had mentioned, and Almond Ranch in 2019. This is 1,280 acres total. There are 4 main trailheads, and most of these properties accommodate all users, including equestrians, cyclists, hikers, dog walkers, and wildlife enthusiasts, such as bird watchers. So our most popular property probably, but definitely in the poll, is Fernandez Ranch. It draws visitors from the entire region. The staging area is located off of Highway 4, which you can see in this map. It's really 2 acquisitions totaling 1,185 spectacular acres. And so that was Fernandez Ranch in 2005 and Franklin Canyon in 2010. This is a nice beauty shot. It really kind of gives you the character of the property. So Carr Ranch, we're going to La Mirinda a little quicker than I thought, but that's okay. Carr Ranch in Moraga is 604 acres of pristine watershed, and this was preserved through a unique partnership between East Bay Mud, the utility district, and John Muir Land Trust in 2016. Visitors can enjoy miles of multi-use trails with spectacular views of the Bay Area from 1,500 feet. I've done it myself. It's quite hard, but very rewarding. I saw a mountain lion out there, very far away on the ridge, but it was exhilarating. It's it's a gorgeous property that kind of stays wet all year long. It was owned and stewarded as a cattle ranch for more than 100 years by the Carr family. We're thankful to them for making the decision to preserve it in perpetuity through the John Muir Land Trust. It's also the gateway to 15,500 acres of wilderness area formed by the Las Trampas Regional Wilderness and surrounding East Bay Mud watershed lands. So you can see this is just the views are world-class, and you've got really interesting rock formations along the ridge lines. It's gorgeous. Access is through Rancho Laguna Park. So another great place to hike is Acalanes Ridge. It's got a 781-foot summit, and you'll find 360 degrees panoramic views from the Livermore foothills to Mount Diablo, Sassoon Bay, Carquinez Strait, Briones Regional Park, the Oakland Hills, and Las Trampas Park. Quick 360. The property's location adjacent to Acalanes Ridge open space. It offers trail connectors, and it's a really popular trail system. So we will continue to own and steward this property in perpetuity as well. And you can find access information on our website. All of our properties are listed there under the Properties tab. There you go. All right, so Bodfish Preserve is in Orinda. It's 7 acres, kind of in these dreamy woodlands and footpaths connecting to nearby trails. It's located along Minor Road in the hills of Orinda. In order to more effectively preserve and maintain this area, the Land Trust sold the property to a private party and now permanently protects it with a conservation easement, which is another facet of our business model. The community gardens near Hidden Lakes in Martinez, it's a 4-acre garden founded in 1997. Participants can rent one of 19 plots of land for a nominal fee to grow vegetables and flowers, and elementary school students can share the bounty there as well. There is a waiting list. It's such a popular area, but it's a great little spot. Contra Costa Goldfields. So this is 30 acres. It's protected habitat and it is not open to the public. We protect and care for this last known bastion of the flower you see there, known as the Contra Costa Goldfields. You can view the flowers from eastbound Highway 4 in the spring. I think they bloom in 2nd, 3rd, 4th week of April. So looking ahead, we're going to look at some of our most recent acquisitions and then our current campaigns. So 84-acre Painted Rock is in Moraga. It's not yet open to the public, though we are working on that. We've been using the property to help with some fire training for the Moraga Orinda Fire District, but they're actually performing a valuable service, which is fire abatement. Eventually, this will anchor. So, Hannah, can you point to where Painted Rock is, the actual property? There. And then the 2 other darker shades of green are 505 acres, excuse me, 421 acres, creating a 505-acre public open space. So we're working on those plans now. I think we skipped, yeah, there we go. 20-acre Batwing. This is managed by the city of Lafayette and not yet open to the public. It's another example of partnership. John Muir Land Trust was able to negotiate a purchase agreement with the landowner and identified funding, and we were able to acquire this property and convey it to City of Lafayette, and it helped them meet some open space goals. So it's really beautiful, great property to preserve, and they're working on plans to open it as well. So our current campaign is Pacheco Marsh, and it's 232 acre marshland, tidal marshland in Martinez. Unfortunately, it's been diked and drained and abused, and Contra Costa County Flood Control and Water Conservation District is working to restore that habitat in a $19.5 million effort. They're actually going to break ground this fall on that huge restoration and enhancement project. And we partnered with them to purchase this parcel along with East Bay Regional Park District in 2003. And once they complete the restoration and enhancement of the marsh, which will help with issues such as climate change and sustainable flood control due to sea level rise, we will come in as the land trust and build access, public access components, including trails, bird blinds, a kayak launch, interpretive signs. We really see this as an educational center for the community. So it's a really exciting project. You can read more about it too on our website. It will also be a bird watching draw. I'm a birder myself, and I'm really excited for the potential there. It protects endangered species such as the salt marsh harvest mouse and black rail too. So sorry to keep going on. I know we're on Family Harvest Farm now. This is also another exciting project, Family Harvest Farm. It's 3.5 acre farm in Pittsburgh, California. It's still in development, some stages. We're piping water, setting up greenhouses, and really it's the purpose of the farm is it's a job readiness program for to serve emancipating foster youth. So we've partnered again with multiple agencies and other nonprofits to make this a reality over many years. So it's really exciting. And again, you can read more on our website. You could always reach out.
So our environmental education programs are great fun. Our largest community environmental education event is in August. It's called Twilight, or Twilight at Fernandez Ranch. And the goal is to encourage guests to learn about what happens in the East Bay Hills when the sun goes down. And you see here, this little girl is looking through a telescope to see the moon at last year's Twilight event. And this August, we're going to be hosting 2 Zoom webinars online in partnership with the Astronomical Society of the Pacific, who will help us see what is in the sky that night. And we will also offer at-home activities to get you excited about the event and learn about the moon cycles. And then the second Twilight webinar will be in partnership with, drumroll, the Lindsay Wildlife Experience. And they will be introducing us and teaching us about their rescued barn owl. And this is a photo of a few of their rescue birds from last year's event. And we have got a red-tailed hawk and a great horned owl here. So stay tuned for more information about the Twilight webinars that are coming up in August. Stargazing is on August 20th, which is a Thursday, and the barn owl is on the 27th. And the webinars are designed for 2nd graders and above. All right, next is our Visit mobile app. And Visit turns your smartphone into a powerful tool to connect with what's around you. It's like having a personal tour guide in your pocket. And we have 5 tours of JMLT properties through the Visit app. I highly recommend them. You can find them on our website. And we've also done, separately from Visit, public family hikes with naturalists, and our botany hikes with the Resource Conservation District. We do this a couple times a year. A few months ago, we did our virtual botany hike at Fernandez Ranch, which you can find on our website to see what the state botanist has got to say about the plant life at Fernandez. All right, so community fundraising. Here on the screen, you see our Nature Gratitude Challenge. And this is an opportunity to get outside while raising funds and awareness for the protection of precious natural areas in the East Bay. Participants fundraise and encourage friends and family to join. JMLT supports participants' efforts to achieve their nature challenges and fundraising goals by providing information, encouragement, and tracking donations through the website. This campaign is running through July 4th, so you can sign up today to kick us off into the last week of the campaign. And people can also, separately from the Nature Gratitude Challenge, fundraise for JMLT on their birthdays through Facebook or other social media platforms any time of the year. Also, in community fundraising, we've got our Pure Muir Gala, which is our major fundraising event. And we're thinking about how we'll host this one in the coming year. And also, our corporate council is one of the ways that we host corporate programs for our members, including group volunteer and team building activities, such as work days. So you see here Cliff Bar employees maintaining our trails at Fernandez Ranch, and we also welcome employers to match employees' gifts. For more information, or if your company is interested in joining the corporate council, please talk to Krista. Okay, outreach. So largely connected to our mission is opening properties to the public. And so Eileen's question about when is Almond Ranch opening, the answer to that is the National Park expansion and Almond Ranch dedication, which will be a very special day in the fall. And we will be opening Almond Ranch to the public, and also West Hills Farm will be dedicated to the National Park Service for them to open at a later date. So that's going to be very exciting. We look forward to it. Just really excited. We've also hosted virtual briefings and events. If you'd like to view our most recent virtual briefing, you can go to our website, and the topic was the marsh. So Pacheco Marsh was, you can learn all about Pacheco Marsh by going and viewing that. We also, for outreach, host recreational hikes and hikes that we partner with other groups to achieve. So if there's a running club that you're a part of or a hiking club, it would be great for you to host those gatherings out on our properties so that you can share with your friends what JMLT's properties are like. And of course, social media, we've got a lot of fun things going on there. Community land stewardship. We've got our stewardship director, Glenn Lewis, on the line, and this is his realm. So he's got 3,500 acres to care for. That's what the land trust has that Krista was talking about. And so we have community members that help us steward the land. We have small groups that help maintain trails and just help facilities maintenance. We also had an oak tree monitoring we've done for the last 5 or more years with UC Berkeley to monitor the sudden oak death. All right, next is our volunteer programs and volunteer roles. And today we'll be covering the trail monitor volunteer role, land stewardship, virtual ambassador, photography volunteer, office support, and other skills. So the gentleman that we just heard from was Glenn Lewis, and here he is on the screen, looking great. So our trail monitor volunteer role, actually volunteers, they report to Glenn, and this role is a great opportunity to hike our JMLT properties that Krista talked about and look at the conditions such as maybe down trees or fences, cattle, or things like that, and report to Glenn about what you're seeing, check signage. And optionally, you can also photograph the landscapes and record wildlife through iNaturalist.com. And this is a great role that you can just jump into today by visiting our website and find this form on the website so that you can report to Glenn through this, and you let him know where you were and who you are and what you saw. And also, if you don't see anything on these trails, but you did go out for a hike, that's also good to report to Glenn as well, because no news is good news at some points, and that can be very helpful for him as well. And another point is, this volunteer role, we're not expecting you to take care of any emergencies, and so if you do encounter any kind of emergency, of course, call 911, and that's what that's for. So thank you. This is a really popular new role. And Glenn, would you like to add anything else to this volunteer role?
I'd just like to say that it's really a valuable thing for me because I can't get out there and be walking the trails, every couple days. And so we have a number of people who are doing this already. They send me reports regularly, and some of them just say, hey, everything looked good. And other times they'll tell me about, hey, you really ought to have a sign at this intersection. I heard you mention Yvette. I think she's one of the participants here. She just sent me an email about a sign that she thinks should be up on a place where a cattle trail crosses the main trail, and it's easily, you can get confused on which is supposed to be the trail. And so sounds like I should have a sign there. So I'll put a sign there coming up. And other times there's, trees down after storms that I need to go up and cut off the trail. So it's a great thing for me. I appreciate it.
That's a better pitch than I could give, I think. Thanks, Glenn. Glad it's helpful to you. And since you're out on the properties doing the trail monitoring, using iNaturalist is just a huge benefit to you and us, I think, from my experience. What this does is you can take your smartphone, download the iNaturalist app, and then you take pictures of plants or animals, and the app helps you identify what species it is. And this then contributes to the map of JMLT properties and tells us what is found on each of those properties. And also you have the opportunity to learn so much. I've been learning a lot about the local plant life. Chris is a bird person, I'm more of a plant person. It's really fascinating, really fun to learn about what's around you. All right, Yvette, who's on the line, here she is doing some land stewardship volunteering. So land stewards, it's tough work: construction, conservation, building trails, pulling invasive species or planting. It's physically demanding, but we do have some opportunities to do this kind of work. And so to get involved, you go to our website and let us know that you're interested in stewardship activities. And also, if you're part of a larger club that has a specific type of stewardship you'd like to do on a specific trail or specific activity, please reach out to Glenn or myself. Our emails are at the end of the slideshows here, and let us know that you have a group that's interested, and we can work that out. Our virtual ambassador, we see our Facebook page posted up here with some beautiful western bluebirds. This is a photos taken by one of our volunteer photographers. And so if you're online and you like to follow this kind of stuff, you can help us out by just sharing the information that you see, the posts that you like. Share them, help spread the word about what we're doing. That's really helpful to us. And if you want to get more involved than that, you can become involved and help develop kinds of events like this. Online events connect us to different online groups. That would be really helpful too. So you can register on our website, indicate that you're interested in this role, and we can work something out together. And our photography volunteers, pretty straightforward. If you like taking pictures and you want to share them with us, we are always looking for pictures of our JMLT properties, wildlife that you might see there. Also your friends and family out on the property too. You don't have to be a superb photographer to take on this volunteer role. If it's just a hobby of yours, that's great. And the way you get us the pictures is by downloading them to our Flickr page. So you can find more information about that by going to our website once again, and it will lead you to our Flickr page. And the way you do this is you create a Flickr account, and then you upload your pictures to your Flickr page, and then you connect them to this group. So this is the JMLT Official Fans Flickr group. And then your pictures will be seen here. All right, so office support volunteer, wonderful. We're looking for help in administrative efforts, organizing, data entry, research. We have long-term and short-term roles. And this is a remote position at this time. And so if you're interested in this, please go to our website, indicate your interest. And if you have any other skills that you'd really like to share with us, we'd like to hear about what that is. As Brian mentioned, he started off with us as a volunteer, and now he's our IT director. Glenn, I believe, also started in the same way as a volunteer, and then is now our stewardship director. So those kinds of things happen. We appreciate people with skills who want to share them with us. So please reach out. And then just to reiterate how to become a volunteer with us, if you want to just jump in today, our trail monitor role and our photography role are really accessible by going to our volunteer page and looking at the ways that you can report the trail conditions and add your pictures. And then if you'd like to become one of the land stewards, virtual ambassador, or help us in the office, you register and indicate your interest. And that's how you can.
I just want to say thank you to everyone participating today and all of our volunteers. It's like a really big JMLT family, and welcome in. The lands are spectacular. I certainly feel really honored to be able to help protect open space in my home county. So join us.